Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again. It's funny because as soon as I started this video, my cat, he was sitting on the chair facing towards me, but then as soon as I pressed the record button, he got up and he stretched his legs and then he completely turned around and just sat down. So, I guess that's what he thinks of my videos. No, he's just tired. But happy Valentine's Day. I am currently in the middle of watching Cobra Kai season 6. I've only watched 2 episodes. I'm not really going to rush through it because I figure, it's over. There's going to be more Cobra Kai stuff in the future, probably. The creators, at least, they said something that made me really happy. They said, we are going to overstay our welcome as much as they allow us. And I thought that's really cool because that's what TV shows are about. I know that there are inherent flaws in overstaying your welcome, but that's what TV shows are made for. They're not made to tell these tight, fast stories that are like basically mini-series. And so I was really glad that I waited to watch this final season because I was kind of going in with like a bitter taste and thinking like, oh, they're ending it early-ish. And I was really kind of like, oh, but, now I'm really happy. I'm really enjoying that final season. And now let's get to today's video, which is, I guess you could call it top 10 worst MCU movies. This is basically just an updated ranking of the ones that I've already ranked. I did a big video back, I don't know how many years ago. It might have been 2023, 2022, where I ranked all the MCU movies. I even ranked some of the TV shows in there. This is just going to be the movies, even though I think that the TV shows count too at this point because the TV shows have become so quote-unquote important in the canon of the universe and setting up movies and bridging the gaps, well, pretending like they bridge the gaps. But anyways, I've also seen, and now I want to make this very clear, I have also seen a lot of discussion online, a lot of discussion about how Captain America 4, which really isn't Captain America because he's not Captain America, he's Falcon, he's Sam Wilson, he's not Captain America. But I've seen a lot of people saying like it's overhated and already. But what I find is that this is what happens with every MCU movie. Even the bad ones, for the most part. Like, the Marvels, everyone thought that was bad. Everyone thought that was a giant piece of shit. But then you had all these people on Twitter, and they said, well, you didn't even see the movie. It was actually really fun and really good. And it wasn't. It's a lie. They're just lying because they're mad that you didn't actually choose to go see it because it looked like it was going to be bad. And spoiler alert, it was really bad. This is the same story here, where I think that a lot of fanboys, they are cutting this movie a lot of slack. And look, I would have loved for this movie to have been a good movie. There's nothing more that I would have loved to have said like, hey, I saw the new Captain America movie. I thought it was going to be bad, but it was really good. But it wasn't. It was terrible. And the way that it was so fragmented, this isn't how movies should be made. And we have to stop being okay with this kind of thing. We have to stop giving these people so much slack. I mean, These people have millions and millions and millions of dollars. They can postpone movies as many times as they want to. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And they chose to make this version of this movie. And you know another thing too? Another thing I forgot to mention is that if this movie was like the most like agenda-filled Marvel movie in its original draft, as long as it was a good movie, I would have liked it a lot more than this. Because at least it would have been like, okay, they stuck with their guns. They stuck with the vision that they had originally for this movie. But instead, it is literally like a Frankenstein monster of a movie. And you have to stop being so nice to these movies that, like, the people who make them, they need to do better. And the only way that they do better is by you telling them that it's bad and that this is why it's bad. And you need to stop thinking that taking these shortcuts is okay. So anyways, these are my top 10, the top 10 worst of the MCU. This also includes, by the way, Fox MCU films, which means X-Men, Deadpool, Amazing Spider-Man, stuff like that. So number 10 is Thor Ragnarok. I really miss Thor. I really miss when Thor was taken seriously. I really miss when he was actually the comic book character. And I just think that this movie, it's an okay movie if you take the comics out of it, if you take Marvel out of it. But the fact of it is, this is a Marvel movie. It is an MCU movie with MCU characters, and it is terrible. It's a giant joke. It's a fun joke, but to be honest, it really wasn't very funny. I thought it was going to be hilarious, but I hardly laughed at all throughout the whole movie. Token Valkyrie was terrible. She was like some weird feminazi, like drunkard, like anti, like pretty woman caricature. I don't know what she was. She was very bizarre. And then they had to shove Hulk in here and pretend like they were making a quote-unquote Hulk movie. And, which they do that a lot, because it's something about the rights issues where they literally can't make an MCU Hulk movie. And to be honest, I think that this movie is terrible because the Hulk and Thor, they have been done so dirty by Marvel out of all the characters in the universe. Well, I don't know, and Ant-Man and Black Panther now. But yeah, so that was terrible. That movie was terrible. They turned what was supposed to be like the apocalypse of Asgard into a giant joke. And Thor has never recovered. He's basically a giant bitch now, and nobody cares about him anymore. He's like a birthday party clown. Number 9 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This movie was supposed to be a Doctor Strange sequel, but instead they made it into a Scarlet Witch movie with also that stupid, like, whatever, what was that character? Miss Marvel? The stupid teenage character that nobody cares about. Like, you know what's really funny about Miss Marvel is that at every single Marvel movie premiere, that fucking actress is always there. Like, she is at every single one. And she has not been in, like, a single movie since Doctor Strange 2, I think. But, like, at every single premiere, we have seen her grow up at Marvel premieres. And, like, I feel so bad for her because it's like, I don't know what else she's done besides anything to do with Marvel. And it's literally like she's just waiting in the back room to be brought out so that she can do her thing in whatever stupid role that they have for her coming up in the MCU. So, yeah, this movie was terrible. It was also bad because they did the modern feminazi thing where they took the main guy's love interest and they had her break up with him, and now she's with another guy. And so the movie starts off with him going to her wedding while she's getting married to another guy. And I thought, fuck you. Because they would never do this to a female character in the MCU. They would only do it to a male character. Number 8 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I couldn't even finish this movie. I thought it was so bad. It was basically like a cartoon. It didn't even really feel like a movie. It kind of felt like a filler TV show episode. And there was really no incentive to want to finish the movie. So, yeah, fuck that movie. Number 7 is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. This movie is bad for so many reasons. I mean, it's just a huge mess. It's another and the trailer for this movie made it seem like it was going to be like the greatest MCU movie of all time. They made it seem like it was going to be this serious, like galactic, like almost like Star Wars level epic movie. And then the actual movie was just another giant joke with all this computer generated bullshit, terrible characters, terrible plot, and Kang was a giant joke. I feel bad for the actor because of what happened in real life with him, but he was trash in this movie. Like, terrible. Number 6 is X-Men 3: The Last Stand. I don't remember anything about this movie except for I hate it, and so that means it's really bad, because it's rare that I can look back on a movie that I haven't even seen all that much or seen in a while and say, even though I haven't really seen this movie recently, I can still confidently say 100,000% I hate this movie. Number 5 is Thor: Love and Thunder. And for some reason, after Taika Waititi made Thor a joke, they allowed him to make this movie. I think what was most disappointing to me about this movie, besides the fact that it was garbage, was the fact that we were teased that this movie was going to be about Thor and the Guardians going on adventures together. And it also was like, oh, is he going to be Fat Thor the whole movie? Well, no, he immediately is not fat anymore. And he also immediately leaves the Guardians. Because the guy who made the movie, he has no respect for the comics. He doesn't care about the comics at all. And he doesn't care about the character of Thor either. And this movie shows. Number 4 is The Marvels. This movie, I don't know why it was even allowed to be made. Nobody liked Captain Marvel, Captain Feminazi, but this movie was just a chick flick. In all fairness, though, it knew it was a chick flick. It didn't try to be anything more. So, I mean, it's just a laughable, kind of forgettable chick flick movie. And the villain, oh my god. The villain was really bizarre. Terrible villain. Number 3 is Captain America: Brave New World. This was not even a real movie. It was a fragmented Frankenstein monster with no Captain America at all. And it also kind of felt like a Hulk movie because everything pretty much revolved around Hulk characters. Nothing really revolved around anything to do with Captain America. It might as well have been a Hulk movie. Number 2 is Black Panther, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I forgot the subtitle. This is one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. I don't know who would want to watch a Black Panther movie without Black Panther. I don't know why they couldn't just man up and recast T'Challa. That's what everybody wanted. Nobody wanted to see this feminazi trash bullshit. And Namor was a trash villain. He's probably the worst MCU villain I've ever seen. And this movie was really overly long. It was really boring. I would never watch it again. They also, what was really weird was they kind of plagiarized and ripped off Thor, The Dark World. I mean, pretty much, like, the same stuff happens in the middle of the movie that happened in Thor: The Dark World. Like, Black Panther's mom gets killed, and there's an invasion of Wakanda, just like in Thor, where Loki caused the invasion of Asgard, and then Thor's mom gets killed. The same exact fucking shit. So fuck this movie. Nobody wants to see a Black Panther movie without Black Panther, and nobody's gonna see Black Panther 3. Number 1 is The New Mutants. This movie is another movie that I think is one of the worst that I've ever seen. It was supposed to be rated R. They said it was going to be like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and instead it's this PG-13 emo weird shit drama. It's so bad. It's just so blatantly bad. Like, there's nothing good about this movie, and there's no good characters. It's just a complete trash movie. I don't even know why it was made. I think that if it was rated R even, I don't think that it would have been better. I just think in general there was no story here that needed to be told. And the characters, I mean, whatever happened to those characters? I mean, they're gone. Nobody cares about them anymore. I mean, there's so many movies like that nowadays too, where it's like, okay, we set up this universe, we set up these characters, and now where are they? Like, what importance are they playing now in this MCU? Nothing. So yeah, in general, the MCU has gone downhill. When Deadpool said that Wolverine was kind of joining at a low point, he should have said you're joining at the downfall of Marvel, because Marvel is never going to be good again. And it's unfortunate they don't realize that and just reboot it. But, like, nobody wants to see Marvel without Iron Man and Captain America. Like, it's just like, why? Like, we're never going to get to see Captain America meet, like, Wolverine. We're never going to get to see Iron Man meet Reed Richards. Like, fuck that. Nobody wants to see that. So anyways, sorry guys, I'm just honest. So I don't care about this, like, oh, you're too negative. You don't like anything. It's like, yeah, I do like stuff when it's good. You know, my favorite MCU movie is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2. So, you know, that should tell you something. So please like this video and comment. Tell me where Captain America, if you could even call it that, ranks in with Marvel movies for you. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest movie reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.